Good evening, everybody. Just thought I'd touch base with everybody. How's everybody doing over there? So I'm going to tell you what it's like where I'm at with the whole wildfire thing. Now, to give you an idea of my location, I'm in southern Ontario, not northern Ontario. Ontario is a big province. My daughter's place up on Lake Huron, which used to be my place, that is right there on the border of northern Ontario. So I got up this morning and it was gloomy. And it stayed that way. And then we had a thunderstorm. And it just poured rain. And then after that, the sun came out. Sky was blue, clouds, looked normal. And then um, it started to get gray again. So it's getting better. And right now it's raining. Got a bit of rain out there. And they say the rest of the week it's supposed to be, the weather's supposed to cooperate and help with putting out some of these wildfires. So it's pretty good where I'm at. I have no complaints. I guess I'm kind of in a little bit of a microclimate here, you'd say. But it doesn't, as far as any sort of fears go, well, I'm not in any because I'm not in the forest. And second of all is, ever since COVID, every single pharmacy we have always gives away free masks. So you can go into any pharmacy and pick up a free mask. And sometimes they have free sanitizer. And I'm sure if you're a senior citizen or unable to get to a pharmacy, all our pharmacies deliver. So you call them up and said, I'm a senior citizen, I can't get to the store. They'll bring it to your place. And the other thing is, our healthcare is free. So if we feel at all like, our throat's tightening up or we're not feeling good, because Chuck said he had a headache a couple days ago, which he normally never gets any headaches. And, you want to buzz over to the Emerge, no problem. You don't have to concern yourself with if it's going to cost you money or anything like that. So those type of things are not concerns of ours. What are concerns of ours is, well, mine, for instance, is the First Nations people up there that have lost their villages. So there's a lot of islands up there, and it's remote. So what happens is, if fires break out, then the only way to get to those people is by boat to evacuate them. And how these fires break out, just so you know, is lightning. That's what causes them. Hi, Ladybug. How are you? Yeah, I'm doing fine. And right now, there's a lot of evacuating going on up north. There's an indigenous tribe that completely lost their town. It's gone. And the other thing that you need to know is our government has no tap or cap on this situation. There will be as much money as needed poured into this. But my heart goes out to these people, the people that are going through it right now, spending the night in hotel rooms, in rescue centers, the First Nations people who have lost everything. And these are, I think there's about 4 different tribes up there that I know of anyway. I know there is one Ojibwa. So yeah, it's really rough for them. But where I'm at, I'm just getting the smoke. And we got the worst of it 2 days ago. How are you doing there? Any sign of the smoke down there? So there's a lot of misinformation going out, about how much money we're spending, what we're doing over here, and what's really happening. There's a difference between provincial spending and federal spending. So provincial is like the province of Ontario. And if you see Doug Ford, he's like our governor. And yes, there has been an allotted amount of money put aside every single year for this type of stuff. But if that money runs out, the federal government kicks in, and like I said, there's no cap on it. They'll go hard until it's taken care of. Now, with the rainstorms coming that they say is going to happen, that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing, because if it's lightning, then it's just going to ignite more fires. Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad. But let me tell you something. This is going to continue. It's happening all over the world. It's called global warming. And for some reason, people get freaked out about that, about the whole global warming thing, like it's a myth or something. No, it's not. They'll say on one breath, global warming has been going on since the beginning of time. Yes, it has. But it is excelled. The rate that it's happening now is just, it's changing almost yearly. So, I mean, there was a time where the deserts were lakes and oceans. And it took millions of years, sometimes billions, for climate change to happen. But now, there's a new factor in there. It's called the amount of people on the planet, the amount of animals on the planet, the amount of emissions we're putting in the air. That's what's causing it to speed up. So yes, global warming has always been here since recorded time. It's just, it is accelerating at an extremely fast rate. And unless we try to find ways to stop it, or to stop using things that we know create this to happen, well, welcome to the world we're leaving our great-grandchildren. It is what it is. So, really, for those of you that think climate change is just a myth, you need to start educating yourself. Because it isn't a myth. It's never been a myth. Yes, it's been here since the beginning of time, because that's always the excuse I hear. Oh, it's no big deal. It's been here forever. Yeah, it has. But you know what hasn't? Trillions of people. And that's what's causing it to causing this stuff. And it's going to keep getting worse. And if you care for your grandkids at all, you'll start educating yourself and maybe start pushing for some changes in our asinine governments. Because we definitely need to start doing that. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Now hopefully the coming week here, we get some rain without lightning and it starts to cool things down. But I know over here that we are throwing everything we have at it. And I'm sorry, Beverly, but United States is not helping. As a matter of fact, that fucking Trump come out and said he wants to start tariffing the air. Like, honestly, it's beyond sickening what's happened to the United States since he's taken over. And I mean, most Canadians are at the point that it's like all we want is for everybody to be safe. We want to stop this, of course we do. It's our country. And we want to make things better. And it's very, very disheartening that all these years, if you look on my post page, I've put a bunch of statistics out through different videos that we have more than done our fair share with United States for them to do this, for that to be coming out of the United States. And as much as American people come on and say, we're not like that, I know you're not. But you got to put the shoe on the other foot if we were doing this to you. I put a video on my post page in 1988 when the Ohio Valley was, that's the Rust Belt, had so much pollution coming out of it that it came up to Toronto and just, you couldn't even see Toronto. We had acid rain, the pollution levels were out in were over the top. And we didn't get on there blaming Ohio or blaming United States. We just said it's a fact, it's coming from United States, and let's get this fixed. And as a matter of fact, let's all of us try to do better in the future. Unfortunately, all we are hearing out of United States is whine, whine, whine. And it's one thing when you're on the internet hearing it from the lowlives, but it's coming out of your governments. And I don't care what anybody says. If Trump would have never gotten into office, this kind of division would have never happened. But because he is such a disgusting piece of shit, it has allowed every other disgusting piece of shit in the United States to open their mouths. You expect this when you don't expect this type of behavior out of your government. Trump's trying to figure out a way to tariff it and make money on it. It's pretty sickening. So that's what's going on. Now, another thing I want to talk about is what the hell is going on with Jelly Roll? I was a huge Jelly Roll fan. Huge. I mean, nothing's better than seeing some guy that was in jail, you know, do good. You need to check out, there's a video he's got out. I think he was in West Palm in Florida about a month ago. And he did a acoustic version of Green Day's I Had the Time of My Life. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. He's not in key. Like, if that was in a bar, you wouldn't even go, you'd walk out. See, I was a big fan of his until I started to change my mind a bit, until him and Bunny went on their European tour. Because here they were in Europe. They had the opportunity. These two people who never thought they'd make it through their young adult lives had the opportunity to go to Europe. And what did they do the whole time they were there? Get drunk, get high, and run their big mouths. The Trafalgar Fountain, I think, or the big fountain in the Piazza of Italy, Jelly Roll was all stoned. Now, this is a fountain that's over 2,500 years old. It's a marble sculpture. It's stunningly beautiful. And it is still working after 2,005 years, or 2,500 years old. And he's out there with his entourage, and the women all got their tits hung out, and they got their lips all blown up like a baboon's asshole, and their eyelash, everything about them is fake. Their teeth are fake, their eyelash, everything about them is fake. And Bunny is trying to talk a very obviously very stoned and drunk Jelly Roll not to go in the fountain because he wanted to go in the fountain. That's the type of respect Americans showed Italy. Now, I'm not saying you have to like Europe or whatever. Italy, France, Ireland, Britain. You don't. But because you have not been educated about your history, you guys come at everything like you're the biggest, the baddest, and all the rest of the world sees is big mouths and small brains. That's what they see. Because of the way so many of you, not all of you, so don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about all of you. But so many of you do not understand that these are countries that have been around for thousands of years. Canada and United States, we're fucking babies. We've only been around for 250 years. And yet, Jelly Roll, one of your more famous people, all he wants to do when he gets to Europe is get drunk and get stoned and act a fool. It's embarrassing, is what it is. And what gets me is the ones that do this shit don't realize how embarrassing it is. Trump is embarrassing. That's all he is. He's not smart. He's not a deal breaker or whatever. He's an embarrassment. He's a fat old man that wears a fucking toupee, bleaches his hair, and wears orange makeup. And tells one bunch of bullshit after another. And I guess come November, from what I'm seeing, y'all need to get your shit together because he's going to try to steal your election like he did before. So that's that's all I want to say about that, is that since this man has made your political scene, since the first time he was president, he has done nothing but trash your country. Have you seen a drone picture of the White House? It's horrible. Looks like a ghetto. He's trashed your people. He's trashed your way of life. There is not a country in the world that is not laughing at him. Why you haven't impeached him is beyond me. Hey Kim, how you doing? Us as a world needs to start getting our shit together. We really do. And you need to understand this. When it comes to other countries, on this side of the world, America used to be a big deal. But since Trump has started with all these data centers and these rich people that you have over there that are totally making it impossible for the next generations in your country to ever achieve the American dream. You are now basically the China of the West. And I know these are hard words, but you need to wake up. Because, yeah, if you're older, 40 years and older, you're going to be fine. But if you're 10 years old and the generation after that, you're going to be fucked because there's going to be no jobs for you. You will not be able to afford education. And nobody in the United States is going to give a shit about you that can change anything. They won't have to at that point because they'll turn the army on you. So anyway, I'm out of here. You guys have a good evening. And, oh, by the way, Robin, I read your little thing saying, I don't like the beach. I didn't, do you realize, I don't know whether that's your way of changing the narrative, but it just makes you look insane. I never said I didn't like the beach. Why would I say that? I've had places on the beach for decades, honey. Not only on Lake Huron, but on the St. Clair River. So I get it. You move from Grand Rapids and you move to the ghetto and you're close to the beach and it's a big fucking deal to you. But to me, having access to the beach is not a big deal to me. And I never said that I didn't like people. That's you saying it. So I don't know whether I don't know what you're doing, but you just sound stupid to me. You're just making shit up as it goes along. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye now.